Welcome back to the United Taste of America. I'm Rick K. Jones. Today we find ourselves in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Behind me is Federal Hill, the home that was the inspiration for the classic Stephen Foster song, My Old Kentucky Home. You know that song because they play it every year right before the running of the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky was originally part of Virginia, explored by Daniel Boone, settled by the Scotch-Irish, and later became the 15th state in our Union in 1792. Eastern Kentucky was all about coal and is the site of the famous feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys. Southern Kentucky was about tobacco farming on the backs of slaves, and Northern Kentucky was all about shipping along the Ohio River. Kentucky was a neutral state during the Civil War, but it still allowed slavery. Kentucky is the home of bourbon, of basketball, of bluegrass music, and thoroughbred racing. In fact, it's the bluegrass coupled with the lime in the soil and the water that makes the bones of the horses grow so strong that it makes this the horse racing capital of the world. When you think about the cuisine of Kentucky, you might as well start with fried chicken. After all, they named a chain for the state. Colonel Harlan Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken in Corbin, Kentucky, and then it spread across the country and even around the world. The irony is original recipe isn't even fried, but rather pressure cooked. Then there's bourbon and all the products that come from bourbon. Things like bourbon balls or mint juleps, derby pie, or bread pudding with bourbon sauce. Then they make a hearty stew called burgoo, which is made with game meat and vegetables, cooked over an open fire in a giant pot that serves hundreds of people. In Western Kentucky, they serve sheep, mutton barbecued. But there's one interesting dish that was born in the Commonwealth at the Brown Hotel in Louisville. It's the hot brown. I'm here with Mark Salmon, the general manager of the historic Brown Hotel, Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for having us today.
It's our pleasure. Welcome to the Brown.
Well, let's talk about J. Graham Brown, because that's really where it starts.
Interesting guy. He was our founder. He came to Louisville to start a lumber business. Originally from Madison, Indiana, and came to Louisville in 1902. He was a real estate developer, philanthropist, had a very interesting life. Well, one day back in 1922, he was out all night playing little cards with his friends and went to another hotel down the street. And the bellmen who were working at that time gave him the bum's rush. They didn't let him in the hotel. Well, Mr. Brown was furious. So he marched himself right up the street. Sitting here is a piece of property that was owned by Theodore Solger, a confectioner. Had a mansion here, sold his candy on the first floor. Mr. Brown bought the building, raised the building, built this hotel in 10 months.
Which is unheard of in that era.
Incredible. Horse and buggies used to haul away the debris. Built this place in 10 months at a cost of just under $4 million. The reward for the construction crew for doing such a great job was a trip to Cuba.
Wow,
You could
that's
send people to Cuba.
fascinating.
Yeah, you could send them to Cuba in 1923.
Exactly.
The interesting tie-in with us with celebrities. First person to sign our guest registry was David Lloyd George, former Prime Minister of Great Britain. Happened to be traveling through Louisville, saw the signs, saw the flags, insisted on being the first person to sign our guest book. And we have a photo of that.
That's pretty special.
Right in our lobby.
Yeah, that's great. So he builds this magnificent hotel, and it became the center of society in Louisville, right?
Very much so.
Okay, so interesting that you have this signature dish, the hot brown, that was created here. That's a story within itself. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Our original chef, Fred Schmidt, well-trained chef, hired on to open the Brown Hotel. We used to routinely host late night dances here at the hotel. We'd have as many as 1,200 people coming for dances here at the
And
Brown.
did you have like a full orchestra that would play
Full
here?
orchestras,
Right.
And the band would go on break late at night, and people would retire down to the restaurant looking for a bite to eat. What did people typically order in the 1920s? Ham and egg. Well, the original chef said, I can't make any money serving ham and eggs. We need to create a
He
dish.
was probably tired of making ham and eggs
To
too.
make it ham and eggs. So he looked around, and with what he had around him, created the hot brown. A hot open-faced turkey sandwich, fresh hand-carved turkey, one of the things that makes ours different, that nice warm bubbly Mornay sauce, 2 slices of bacon on the top to add a little color to the dish, and the tomatoes not only add color but a little acidity, and it instantly became a hit. It started getting featured in a lot of cookbooks, and a lot of Louisvillians started making it part of their post-Thanksgiving routine. Turkey was not as common in the 1920s. It was mostly a celebration type of a meal, and we turned it into our signature dish. And a lot of Louisvillians took to it right away, which is why you saw it in local cookbooks, school cookbooks, fundraising cookbooks. And we've had to remain very true to the dish for the last 99 years. When I hire a chef around here, I always tell them the same thing.
Don't mess with the hot brown.
Don't mess with the hot brown.
Yeah. And it's interesting that it's named for Mr. Brown and for Mr. Brown's hotel, which is very unique to have a dish that we know the origin. And I guess those that danced the night away were drinking a lot of hooch, potentially, a lot of great Kentucky bourbon. What a great hangover food the hot brown is.
Absolutely. Now, this was during Prohibition, so some of that drinking was going on a little under the table.
Of course. And but it is the ultimate hangover because it's either the right dish to have before you drink, because it gives you a little cushion in there, something, a little substance. But I think it would be really, really good after a night on the town too.
We hear it every Sunday morning.
Okay, I'm sure it's a great dish. Well, again, I can't thank you enough for having us here today.
It's our pleasure.
We're excited to be here and appreciate everything.
Welcome to the
Thanks,
Brown.
Mark. Thanks again.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. And that's a wrap on the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the hot brown at the Brown Hotel in Louisville. We'll see you next time on United Taste of America.